Well, we're back. Fancy that. Reveal number 175. This is going to be a 1959D Fed Reserve Bank of Seattle original bank wrapped roll. Well, right now it looks like we've got Joe McBride, Eric Beyer, Farm Dog, Yum Angle, and Bill Crusson. Got 7 people out there. Got 5 named, and what would that be? My brain just hit a wall. Looks like 2 more. Let's just call it that. Now we've got 8 people. So whoever that 8th person is, you hit me a like, and we will have a full house of likes. So here we go. Opening up this 1959D roll from the Fed Reserve Bank of Seattle. Who knows what we're going to find in this, because 59D is always giving us a chance. Double dies, RPMs, all kinds of nifty stuff in 1959D. Hope this turns out to be something good. Is an original roll. This is a roll that was sourced from Tim Rathjen, along with a number of other original bank wrapped rolls. Hey there, Jeremy, Dennis. Let's see what we have here for condition. Oh, wow. Put my glasses on here real quick so I can see. Yeah, these look nice. These look very nice. So, no further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Get all my names in the bag, get them all mixed up and nice and healthy. And we got Jeff Dunn. Jeff Dunn's going to be the first name pulled out of the bag for this coin. Right here. Oops. I have to dust it off. Got a lot of paper dust on it. It's hard to see. There we go. Get it dusted off a little bit there. And I do believe I may be looking at an RPM. I think I am looking at an RPM. In fact, I'm pretty sure I am. Let me get it up close so we can see it up close in person. Where did I just go? Yep, definitely an RPM. Nice upper split serif. Turn the light up a little bit so we can see it better. There's your nice upper split serif right there. In fact, this is a good example of a D over D rotated counterclockwise. You have a D sitting underneath the primary D, and the whole thing is rotated toward the left or counterclockwise. Let's see if we have a lower split serif as well. Turn it around this way and see if I get any light on a split. I don't see a split on the lower, but there's definitely a nice split on the upper. Nice, nice. Very nice. And let me back out and look for a good marker to give us a good indication. This is going to be die number 1 for the roll. Die number 1 for the roll. Let's take a look. Okay, we have a nice die scratch next to the 9 and another one next to the 5. Let's see if we have something very big and obvious. Got a bunch of little things. A die crack in the hair. And a lot of... And also got a die crack above the ear. So we got a die crack in the hair and a die crack above the ear over to the forehead. But what I'm going to go by is these southwest and northeast die scratches running right through the mint mark and the 9 and 5 of the date. So that's going to give us a good indication that we have this particular die again when we run across another coin that looks kind of like this one. But this is coin number 1, die number 1 for the roll. Fabulous start. Yeah, RPM 1 is a very nice 1970S RPM. A lot of times those will come out of mint sets. They seem to be more prevalent out of mint sets than out of bags or rolls. So that's Jeff Dunn's RPM there. Now let's take a look at coin number 2, see what we come out with. Here's Adam Connor. Adam Connor. What do we see? Oh, there's nothing on the date and the mint mark. Let's go take a look at the eye real quick. Nothing on the eye. Nothing in the motto. Or Liberty. Don't see anything on the reverse either. So that's going to be our first normal coin for the rolls. Coin number 2 goes to Adam Connor. Now for coin number 3, let's take a look at coin number 3 for New Marshall in town. Coin number 3 for the Marshall. Got a die clash out in front of the 1. Bunch of north and south die scratches running through the date. And I think that will be about it. Doesn't look like we have a RPM. There's no hub doubling on the date. No hub doubling around the eye. Nothing in the motto. Liberty looks normal as well. Let's flip it over and take a look at the reverse and see if we have a double die reverse. Perhaps. Maybe. Or not. No double die reverse. So we will move on. That's coin number 3 from Mr. Marshall. Now coin number 4. Very nice fields on these. Yeah, that is true. Bill Betts. Bill Betts comes up with this. Yeah, these coins are extremely shiny. They're very nice. Very high quality. Like it, like it, like it. Got nothing on this coin. Well, not around the mint mark or the date anyway. Not from what I can see. Alright, let's go ahead and move up to the eye. Take a look at the eye. Look all around the motto. Get down into Liberty of the IC. Nothing there. Alright. A normal coin for coin number 4 now. Coin number 4 is Bill Betts. Now for coin number 5. Mike Birchman. Coin number 5. Take a look here and see if we can find anything on this one. Nope. Okay, this one's got a big die scratch coming up out of the 5. So we're going to call this the Horned 5. Got to do something to remember these things. Horned 5 has a filled 9. Normal coin though. It doesn't have any die variety, no real errors. Does have an interesting little filled B. It is a very nice condition coin. But not a super premium coin. Hello, Paula. Now to coin number 6. This one's going to go to Bulldog. Bulldog's coin number 6. What do we see? What do we see? What do we see? Nothing on the mint mark. Nothing in the date. There's a whole bunch of die scratches on this one. It looks like a... Is that a gouge through the middle of the U? Perhaps. See if we see something over here. I got nothing else on this. Just happens to be a bunch of die scratches. Is that one going right through the middle of the vest? Oh, it is. It's a big die scratch going through the vest. It's more visible in this, at this angle. So we know the one with a lot of die scratches. The one with a lot of die scratches is not going to have an RPM or a double die. Alright, and that's for Bulldog. Coin number 6. Now coin number 7. Hello, TNO. Is Adam Chambers. Adam Chambers, coin number 7. Let's see if we have anything here. We do. We've got a split lower serif there. You can see it very clearly. Split lower serif on a relatively early die state coin. So let me turn it back around. We'll look for good markers. It does appear to have a fat bottom, so that helps. Fat bottom coins. Okay, we've got a couple of... We've actually... probably our best marker is this heavy die gouge just to the southeast of the mint mark, just to the lower right of the mint mark. It's probably our best near date marker to use to identify this die again. This one's going to turn out to be die number 2 for the roll. Die number 2 for the roll is a minor lower split serif. It's Adam Chambers. The owner of this coin. And not seeing anything else really. There's a little pattern of die scratches. Will be made as a minor marker. Probably end up in photos. That's about it though. So Adam Chambers gets die number 2. The first example of die number 2 for the roll. It's going to be coin number 7. So coin number 8 goes to Pammy Jones. Good evening, hidden numismatist. Look at the next coin here in the roll. It doesn't appear that we have anything outside the ordinary on this one. $150,000. You're wanting to sell your you wanting to sell your coin or your soul? I'm a little confused. $150,000 for the 70s RPM. Well, I'd buy it for $150,000, but I'd have to turn the money over to the devil. I don't think you want that, because I can only give you about $25 for it. That would be my best, and that's if it's as perfect as you say it is. It'd be nice to have one like that. For $150, you'll sell whatever. Yeah, let's not get into that. Whatever can be a lot of different things. Yeah, I think is it 150 or 150,000 that you'd do? That you'd sell whatever for 150,000? I probably would too. My dog's not for sale. My wife is not for sale. And my house is more than 150,000. So, short of those things, I'd probably sell just about anything for 150 grand. Got nothing on this one. It looks interesting, but it doesn't really have anything there. And my dog so quietly walks into the room, shaking his head, grunting, just as my dog normally does. Let's see here. I need to get his ears treated. He needs his ears cleaned out. You were kind of kidding, but maybe not completely kidding. I know of a lot of good bridges in Florida. Most of them go over swampland. But there's also a lot of bridges going out to the beaches. This one's got a dot above the D, but it's not an RPM. So we can remember this one because of the dot above the D. See if we have anything else of note on this one. Taking a look at the L, all the other parts that are normally doubled on a coin from this era. This era being the 1959 to 1964 memorial cents. Once you get to 1965, things tend to change just a little bit. Double dies for 65, 66, and 67 tend to be a little more scarce, a little harder to find. Same general thing with 1968 through 1971. Then 1972, all of a sudden, you've got a year it's got a ton of double dies. They're still not easy to find, but there's a lot of them. Joe McBride, coin number 11. Let's see. Is this the one that's got the... No, it's not the one that has the big heavy die scratch through the bottom of the vest. But we'll keep looking around and see what we find here. I think this might be... No, it's not. It's not an RPM. I thought it was for a minute. Dog's decided he's going to bring his rawhide in here and crunch on it. Well, whatever he wants. Dogs are really special in that dogs don't live a whole long time. You have kids, and your kids grew up to be adults. And you think about, wow, it was pretty cool when you were a kid. We could do this, we could do that, and do this. Dogs don't grow up to be adults. They're pretty much adults when they're 2 or 3 years old. They become adults. By the time dog's 8, 10 years old, you're looking at their geriatric period. And, well, be quite truthful. 8 or 10 years is not long enough for a soul like that to be on the planet. It's a very short time. So during that very short time, you do anything you possibly can to make the dog as happy as possible. Spoil them all you can. Nice die cracks. That's what she said. Do everything you can for them and hope that when they pass on, they'll be waiting there at that rainbow bridge for you so you can cross over with them someday. Dogs are very special creatures. And my little Sherm gets anything he wants anytime he wants it. Because, well, he's not around very long. He and I go take car rides together. Sometimes I think I give him rides until he gets bored. He loves going on a car ride. You ask him if he wants to go with you. And man, he just dances. He loves the idea of a car ride. And I know it's like very hard to let go of a dog and get another one. But for every dog, well, for every human being out there, there's at least 4 or 5 dogs out there who can come to you at any given time in your life, bring you joy and happiness and responsibility. And it helps control the population of dogs that are not cared for and are not wanted by someone else who doesn't have any feelings. We got our dog from the Manatee County, Florida Humane Society, and he's been the very best dog I could ever imagine having. He's got his little quirks, but you love a dog for the quirks. This is another example of die number 1. This is an example of die number 1 for the roll. That's the one that had the die scratch down by the 9 and one coming out of the 5. And it's got the very well doubled upper serif, but not really anything on the lower serif. Man, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be on my dog's bad side. I can hear him down the hallway, crunching into a rawhide. Sounds like somebody eating potato chips. This dog's got extremely strong bite. Alright, so there's Farm Dog, example of die number 1. We're on coin number 14. Let me make sure that was die 1. Let me take a look at the other one that I know was die 1. Let's see. Yeah, die 1. Definitely die 1. Well, hello again, Misplaced Youper Girl. Andy Snowville. Joe McBride. Wow, 3 days after your 22nd birthday. Good gosh. I never had a dog come close to lasting that long. I think the longest I ever had a dog was about 14 years. 13, 14 years. This looks like it could be an RPM. Could possibly be an RPM. Let me take a look at it. Let me zoom in a little bit closer and we'll take a good look at it. What do we have over here next to the D? Is that a shadow of some sort, or is that another D? I'm going to have to go with a dieware shadow because you've also got it kind of right up here on the 5. Now this is your forensic examination of the coin to see what you've got and what you don't have. If you look here, the bottom of the 9, you've also got that same type of stuff on the 9. You've got it on the 5, so it would make sense that you'd have it on the D as well. And typically when you have these little Eastern hook RPMs, which is what I thought this was, you're going to have something inside the mint mark, a spike or a line or something inside the mint mark showing that you've got doubling on that RPM. See, I turn it in this direction, it disappears. I turn it in this direction and it shows up. So I'm thinking we've got a nothing. We've got a shadow caused by a possible old die scratch or just dieware. So it really helps to do a good examination. You can see if I leave it right there just like that, you can see a tiny, tiny, tiny split in the lower serif. You see it right there? Very tiny split in the lower serif. It's a thin line that goes straight down the middle of that shiny area. That is not enough to call it an RPM. Alright, so let's back out. Misplaced Youper Girl is a real Youper. I've talked to her before about her old home. She definitely knows what snow is. Now, let's take a look at the reverse on this one. Nice sharp reverse. But it's looking like we got nothing here. Nothing to go on. Hang on, folks. This is a call I need to take. I will return very shortly. All right, folks. I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so Wild Bill's coin appears to be nothing on the reverse. It's a normal reverse. And so, I'll put it here in holder number 15. And move on to coin number 16. Coin number 16 will go to Farm Dog. Farm Dog gets what looks to me like a normal coin here. Looks like we've got a couple of RPMs, but they're kind of being a little stingy about how they're showing up in the rolls. Got nothing on that one either. So, I'm going to move on to coin number 17. Coin number 17 will be for... You thought the dog was going to take over for me? Yeah, he doesn't have thumbs, otherwise he would. John Brandon Bow. John Brandon Bow. Take a look at the coin here. I've got nothing on the RPM. I've got nothing on the mint mark. I don't know why I keep calling mint marks RPMs. They're not RPMs unless they're doubled. Wow, look at that. That splitting headache. That's kind of big. It's not really going to add any value or anything to the coin, but it does look kind of cool. Take a look at the reverse real quick. Okay, got nothing there, so I'll go ahead and move on to the next coin. Yo Man. Yo Man gets coin number 18. And coin number 18 is... it's also a normal one. I've got to take that thing away from him. It sounds like he is eating splintered wood. I just can't see how that's good for him. He'll give me a coupon worth $149,975. Man, you're the nicest guy ever. I'll be using that to pay for my house. Just so you know. That was the lobotomy variety. There you go. Massive die crack. I think it was the baseball bat against the head. Quads.com. Quads.com comes up next in order. And we have nothing on the mint mark. Nothing on the eye. Motto looks clean. Liberty is clean. Move to the reverse. Take a look around the reverse and I don't see anything. So that's Quad's coin. Number 19. Move on to coin number 20 now. Yo Man Gulp. Yo Man. Coin number 20. That's a little struck through above the 9, the first 9. Small struck through area. Little speck of something sitting on the die got struck into the coin, then fell out. Untonigan? Is that how you pronounce that? Untonigan? Did I do that right? Zimbabwean dollars. There we go. What's 150,000 Zimbabwean dollars worth? Is that like, was it a quarter of a cent? Let's see what we've got going on here. Nothing on that side. Let's take a look at the other side. So is it Ontonagon? Or Ontonagon? I think Ontonagon. Sounds better, easier to say. Yeah. Trust me, there's places all over this country that are not pronounced the way it looks. She's laughing at me. It must not be Ontonagon. Nothing there. Move on up. Take a look at the eye. I'm getting laughed at, folks. That's because I jump out there and make an effort. That's right. I get laughed at for making my effort. Oh, so it's Aunt Noggin? Aunt Noggin? Yeah, no. Most people are a breed of their own, that's for sure. I don't know how anybody stands that much snow in a year. They get a ton of snow up there. Some places get more than others. There's like a little horn on the top of the UP. That little horn on top of the UP, they get a metric ton of snow. It's huge. I've seen pictures of some of it. Aunt Noggin? So I got it right. The second, third, fourth time around. Who has a halo on his head? Are we talking about Lincoln? Or is it on the reverse? Kind of, maybe. A $100 trillion Zimbabwe note is worth just 40 US cents. So, then that means if you were able to find me 100,000 Zimbabwean dollars, I'd have to cut a penny into 100 pieces to give you change. Which piece do you want? I call the E, but which one? There's a bunch of E's. The Kappa Haba? Oh, it's on your dime. Okay. I'm fine if you pay for it. Jeremy, Bill Crusson said he was going to send you $25. You can send the coin to me. He said it's on his dime. You seen it first. Right here. Right here. Right here on the Copper Coins channel. Mashal. New Mashal in town. Oh, wait, what do we have here? Do we have something interesting? No, false alarm. Darn it. Dag nabbit. I'm gonna get in trouble. Copping a northern accent just because there's a youper in here. I get myself in trouble. I'll end up having to give up 700 trillion Zimbabwean dollars. That's $2.80. What comes after a trillion? I know. What comes after a trillion, everyone? I know. You know, Dye Brown Soda, they have places for behavior like that called comedy clubs. You should try it. Okay. Once you finish 999,999,999,999,999,999, what's the next whole number? Zillion is not the answer. It made me go through all of that. You guys are all out there digging around in your goggles, looking everything up in Google. You're not supposed to look it up in Google. You're supposed to know it. That's correct, Eric. Quadrillion is next. What's after quadrillion? Quickly. Right after quadrillion is... I doubt anybody really ever counts beyond a quadrillion, but there is a word for it. That's right, quintillion. There's a quintillion, sextillion, septillion, heptillion, nonatillion. By the time you get there, you're talking about a number that represents probably more in quantity than the number of atoms on our planet. It would be just a very, very, very large number. It's about $30 less than our national debt. Actually, a Google, it has 100 zeros. It's a one with 100 zeros. A Google is a one with 100 zeros, and a Googleplex is a Google Googles. It's a Google squared. There's a difference, Andrew? We talking about Adams as a first name or a last name? There's a difference. Nobody counts to what Eric said. I mean, if we started today speaking in a normal tone of voice at a normal speed, it would take weeks to get there. And that's 24 hours a day with no breaks. It would take us weeks to get there, maybe even months. Let's see if we get anything else out of this roll. Having a hard time digesting why we found RPMs galore right at the beginning of the roll, and now we don't see anything. Hello, Mo Money Inc. We do have 2 different RPMs in this roll. We have found a very short number of each. In fact, the first RPM we found 2 of. Second RPM we have found 1 of. That may be incorrect. I may have found at least 1 more. Am I Greek? No, I'm not Greek. I am an American. In 1959D here. Got no other additional beauty on this, such as die varieties, doubling. We've got a couple of little die cracks. There's a die crack there, and there's a die crack up here in the head, or a few die cracks actually up here in the head. Yeah, I can show the RPMs at the end. If you keep watching, you might actually see more of them come up, because generally there's more than 2 RPMs of any given die in one original roll. So pretty decent chance that we're going to run across another one of the RPMs that we can take a good look at as we're going through here. We're only up to coin number 32 now. A die cut? I don't know what a die cut is. A die cut is what happens like when they cut door hangers into shapes and leave a hole for the doorknob. That would be die cut. They create a die that they cut paper with. But that's what I'm familiar with die cut being. No, I didn't say die cut, but I don't know what I did say. Die crack? I said die cracks. Yeah, die crack, not die cut. That's a die crack with a die chip. Actually, 2 die chips. There's a die chip between the ear and the back of the head, and then there's another die chip above the ear on this one. You can speak Greek? Endecillion. Comes right after decillion. Decillion, then endecillion. And then dodecillion. I really understand a lot more Greek than I can speak just right out. I don't come up with sentence structure very well, and I'm a horrible speller in Greek. Spelling has a number of issues that are difficult to get into. You not only conjugate verbs in Greek, but you also conjugate nouns in Greek, which is another kind of problem. But I learned how to speak as much Greek as it took for me to get by in Greece for a couple of weeks on a couple of different occasions. And I was married to a Greek for 11 years. Do I know how some people point out die cracks with red arrows? I suspect. I mean, I can't do it on this program, but I can do it in my photography. I can do it in my still photography. Yeah, conjugating nouns. How about that? It's basically like if you say book, you talk about book as book. That's just a simple word. But in Greek, you automatically conjugate it out as to his book, her book, its book, their book, our book. And you got one word that represents that. So you conjugate by not necessarily the same way as a verb would be conjugated, but you've got different words for the same object in different quantities and by different genders. Words have gender. All nouns have gender. That's kind of like Spanish. There's a lot of other connector words and other things to learn. Then you have to learn the structure of how the sentences go together. And then you're about 1/100th of the way to being able to speak conversational Greek. It's kind of a difficult language to learn. It's a difficult language to grasp. I'm looking at the condition of some of these coins. Some of these coins that are coming out of this roll are just stunning. Really, really nice, bright, shiny coins. I'm going to show you what I mean. As soon as I get finished with this coin, I'm going to go back to the previous coin. I'm going to go back to coin number 34 because that was one of the shiniest 1959 D Lincoln cents I think I've ever seen. So I'll pull it out and show it to you. Yeah, Dennis, when you say it's all Greek to me, well, the Greeks obviously don't say that. They also don't say it sounds like English. They actually say Mufeno de Kinesica. Mufeno de Kinesica means it sounds like Chinese. Honest engine. Let me pull this back out, and I'm going to pull my scope up so you can see it in its full glory. This is probably one of the shiniest 1959 D Lincoln cents I've ever seen. Come straight out of this roll. This is coin number 34. It does have a mark on it, but it's got a lot of shine, a whole lot of luster. And reflectivity. It's got reflectivity. It's really nice. Let me see if I can try to show you reflectivity. I have a business card here from a person at a historical society near here. And I'm going to tip it up. Let's see if we can see the writing. No, can't see the writing on the card. I thought we'd be able to see the writing on the card. But that's a really cool looking coin. Bounces back down to the level where we actually look at the coins. Bring it into focus. I'll put this one back where it belongs. Coin number 34. Mo money. This particular scope is a $500-600 model, and it I don't put coins directly on the plate because the plate is it's made of metal. And so what I do instead, I have a piece of artist's mat board that I cut out. I set the coin on that, and then I slide it around underneath the scope. That didn't cost much of anything. In fact, I've had it so long it's well beyond its intended lifespan. I've had it for almost 16 years now. It is a nice scope, but it's a very expensive scope, and it doesn't do the best job at showing a coin magnified under the proper light to be able to see the little shadows and stuff that make up die varieties. The lighting is nice, but it's just not quite right. It's not quite perfect. So I have another microscope. I have a regular microscope here that does not have a digital connection. Or it does have a digital connection, but the digital connection is way too slow to show on a live stream. That's what I use to look at the coins after I finish the broadcast. I go back through every roll. I look at all the coins again. Do I sell off all of my finds? Yes. The only thing I keep are example coins of each different die that I use in the event that I need to have a live coin for an investigation into die comparisons. So I am a student of the Lincoln Cent. I'm not a collector, but I do keep a reference set. So any new dies that I find go into the reference set with all the other reference set coins. But there's a lot of them for which I only have photographs, which is fine. I don't have to have more than photographs. It's just very nice to have more than photographs. So if I see a marker that may be the same but may not be the same, I can always just get my sample coin out, take a look at it, and compare it coin to coin against another coin. Yeah, the long piece of wood that I use to look at coins, that's when I'm going through rolls or such. I can take a roll of Lincoln Cents and I can go through half a roll at a time using a stick of wood under my microscope. And I've got a second one that I use to flip them over. I can look at a half roll of Lincolns for everything. All the doubling, all the anything you'd ever want to know about it inside of 1 minute. I can do an entire roll inside of 2 minutes. But that's how long it takes to microscopically look at every single coin in the roll. About 2 minutes. Oh, Mr. Fletcher. What'd you miss in today's reveals? Not much. The 64D roll and the 1959 plain roll both came out empty. What else did we do? 55D came out with a few RPMs, but not very many. And this is the 1959D roll. We've got 2 different RPMs in this roll so far, but we've got very short numbers on those. Only like 1-2 examples of each. This is being a very difficult roll. I'll tell you that for sure. Mo Money Inc., that's what we're here for. We're here to reply to your queries and give you good information that you can take back to your collection and use it to your advantage. That's what this is all about. It's a learning experience. I'm still looking for another RPM. Haven't found one yet. We're up to coin number 40 now. That was Mike Birchman, coin number 39. It's always a good thing to be able to talk and chit-chat and ask questions or anything you want to do during this session. We're not always talking about coins because that would be kind of boring to always talk about the coins that we're opening. There's another one. This one is... Okay, this one is the die number 3. I think die number 3 I said. Or is it the die number 2? No, it's the die number 3. I'll have to get all this straightened out after the end of this. I'm going to have to go back through this roll again because I think I threw a couple of RPMs back in the normal coin pile, but this one's definitely an RPM. I do believe this is going to be show it in detail. Well, I mean, I can zoom into it. looking at is that cut in the lower serif, which means specifically that there are two D's punched there together on the die. And so the die transfers that doubled D over to all of the coins that are minted with that die. And so we catalog these by the die, or we give them die numbers, and we can look up any of them that we find on coppercoins.com or other websites to ascertain which die number we have. Then we try to collect these by die number. And so that's what it is. Hey, Randy. And so this is a repunched mint mark, or we call it an RPM. You can see that there are two lower serifs on this. A serif is the little piece that sticks out the side of the D to give it ornate appearance. That's what a serif is. And this one is doubled. Now, I used, the last time I saw one of these, which was like 15 minutes ago, I used this little heavy mark down here just to the southeast of the D mint mark to say, if I see another one of these, this is what I have, and I know this is what I have because that's part of the fingerprint of the die as it was left on the coin. You can see there's other things like a couple of marks here in the front of the vest, but I think this one also has a filled R or B. No, neither one. Must be a different die that I was looking at, a filled letter. But I know I've seen one of these before because of that little mark to the southeast of the D. Oh, this is number 3? Awesome. How about that? Are you sure it's number 3? By marker? So that's coin number 40 in the roll. Deanne purchased one of the coins in the roll, and she's going to get this one because I pulled her name out at random. You're not sure? You don't see it. I don't understand how you couldn't see it. Here's one for Pammy J. Pammy Jones? What do we have for you? This one looks like a normal, just a normal coin. No repunchment mark. Nothing doubled in the date, or the I, or the motto, or liberty. Hang on a second. Come here. You okay? Are you okay? Yeah, we're going to take that bone away from you. Dog came in here choking. Sorry about that. Had to do a little maneuver on my dog. Now I need to go wash my hands. So I'm going to cut my volume, and I'm going to go wash my hands real quick, and I'll be back.
Sorry about that, folks. I had just a little emergency I had to take care of.
But we're all good. Dog's fine. I'm fine. Just had to wash my hands because I had dog spit on my hands. So we looked at this coin from Pammy J. I can't remember exactly where I am. So I need to kind of refresh myself. This one belongs to Pammy J. Or Pammy Jones. Take a look at it real quick. Okay. This is a normal coin. Oh, he's fine. He's just sitting here next to me now looking at me like, well, what'd you do with my bone? Why can't I have it back? He's all good. Kind of stuff happens once in a great while. You just have to be prepped for it. Gotta know what you're doing. Hawkeye. Oh, there's a ton of RPMs, so I wouldn't expect that a person would be able to come up with which die any of these are just by watching the show. It'll take some in-depth studying on my part to find exactly what we've got, which is why I'm backlogged by, probably 25, 30 dies, trying to get dies identified and get flip inserts made for them so that I can mail them out. I do still have coins from 2 weeks ago left to finish. Sorry I had to leave you guys, but I could hear him crunching that thing out in the hallway, and then he comes in here and he's got a piece of it in his throat. So I had to help him out just a little bit. But in doing so, I got dog slobber all over my hands. Last night's auction coins I'll be shipping tomorrow, unless you have outstanding coins from reveals. If you've got outstanding coins from reveals, I will wait and ship it all together so I don't have to charge you another shipping fee. And that will be done. Let's see, what is today? Wednesday? That'll be done Saturday. So ship tomorrow if that's all you've got. There's coins that came out of the auction itself. But if you've got reveals, then I'll have to wait till the reveals are done, which will be Saturday. And I can pull out your reveal coins and send those to you along with whatever you got in the auction. But I believe you just got a couple of... I think you just got a couple of coins in the auction, so they'll ship tomorrow. Eric Bayer. To No Money Inc., I did not mean to shut you down or anything back there. It's just I have to keep moving on this show because I try to keep them inside of an hour. We're already in 1 hour and 5 minutes because of my dog's escapades. If you continue to watch these shows, you will learn. And you will learn what we do, how we do it, what they look like, everything else. This is definitely not something you can learn inside of a day. Just isn't going to happen. I didn't. It took me years to learn this. I've now been doing this about 30 years with die varieties. About 35, actually almost 40 years. So I started doing die varieties in 1983. So it's 37 years. And I've learned a lot from that time. And I've taught a lot in that period of time. But a lot of times it's going to take examples. Like, for instance, you can't see it. That's because it's rather minor. It's something that you have to understand what you're looking for or what you're looking at prior to actually understanding it. And to do that, we would need to show you some of the more major RPMs and then work our way down to the more minor ones so that you can look at them and understand, okay, well, that's an RPM, that's obvious. And then, oh, well, this one's not quite so obvious, all the way down to, wow, that one's really kind of tiny, but I still see it because I know what I'm looking for. Just to show you in in the middle of a video like this, in a stream, is really, really hard. It's a thing of experience. It just takes time to learn. Yeah, with my new microscope, I'm going to work on connections and stuff like that and see if I can do some research and maybe call Amscope and talk to them. I do believe there's got to be a way that I should be able to do a live broadcast. There's another RPM right there. This is, let's see. I can't remember what I was looking at on die 1 anymore. A little issue with my dog kind of threw me out of whack here. That does look like die number 1 for the day, though. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on this one. We're going to look at the mint mark area again. And so what we're looking at here is a split on the upper and a split on the lower. This one may not be die number 1. This may be something different. No, it's the same one, I think. But you see an obvious split on the upper mint mark there, on the upper part of the mint mark. You can see where there's doubling. There's a dark line going right down the middle of the corner of the mint mark. That's actually 2 mint marks layered over one another, basically almost right on top of one another. But one of them, the one that's underneath, is rotated. It's rotated in the direction I'm spinning the coin right now. You can see right there where you can see the actual bottom of both mint marks. So you've got 2 different mint marks punched right there together. This is a D over D rotated counterclockwise, because you have to travel counterclockwise to get from the first D to the second D, from the D that's overlapping to the D that's underneath. Bill Creston, I'm not really sure what one more is. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm kind of lost a little bit here. You just have to bear with me. Kind of lost a little bit. You tell me what's one more? What are you trying to get? Okay, I'm going to put this in the die 1 stack. I don't think it's a die 1, but I'm going to put it in the die 1 stack, and I'll get it all ironed out after the show. I don't know. I don't see what Bill's question was. No, just don't see it. So, Bill, could you ask me the question again so I'll know exactly what I'm dealing with here? Because I just don't see it. You'll send me an email? Okay. That's fine too. Either way. Now, about my move, we need to discuss that for a minute. I think what I'm going to do is a big roll sale next week. Try to sell down some rolls so I don't have to move as much. And then I'm going to have to shut things down in sales. Not do any sales for 2 to 3 weeks while I move. I can keep doing small auctions where I've got just a few singles that I can send out or something to that effect. Or maybe I'll work it out with Jessica that I can run a small auction and send everything to her and she can mail it out to you guys.
You pretty sure it was a number 1?
Okay. For some reason, my brain hasn't been working. It's been kind of fried this evening. Maybe 4 rolls in a day is more than I should be doing, but with a dog who likes to lay out in the hallway and chew on bones that come apart in shards, not a No, no, it's not a bone. It was actually a it was a manufactured. It was a braided round rawhide for dogs. We got it from Chewy's, and he has a bite force strong enough to actually bite it into pieces. He doesn't lick them and get them nice and soft and chew on them. He bites them apart. And because he bites them apart, he gets these little tiny pieces that he swallows. He just loves that. But sometimes he chews off a piece that's too big and swallows it. And I've been trying to talk my wife into not getting those for him. She wants something that's a wood that he can chew on that doesn't have splinters. And I have no idea how you can get a wood that doesn't have splinters. But he loves wood too. He loves going and getting sticks or pieces of wood, and he will eat them. And of course, we know that doesn't digest, so it comes back up later. But he loves to eat wood. And so anyway, regarding the move, it looks like we're going to close on the new house on the 22nd of July. I plan on working one more week beyond the 4th of July to do one more auction. It will be the 8th or the 9th, whatever that day is. I think maybe the 9th. And what I'm going to do there is a box sale. I'm going to work on trying to put together a few hundred rolls and sell them by the box to whomever wants them. We'll start every auction lot at $1 a lot. It'll be a box full of coins. And so this one's Jim Fletcher. It's another normal coin. And then coin number 50. Coin number 50, the last coin of the roll. We're almost 15 minutes beyond. Is Adam Chambers. Let me get that off of there real quick. There we go. And that does not appear to be an RPM. It does not appear to be a double die. And I don't see anything in Liberty. Hello, CMUS Omaha. It's the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to pack them up in small flat rate priority boxes, and there's going to be about 20 rolls per box, and I'll probably build the boxes as we sit here, and I'll do a few hundred, maybe even close to 1,000 rolls. I don't know, and I'll probably start at a slightly earlier than normal time and go a little bit longer than normal, but I don't want to be in the middle of the night doing this. That's all 50 coins. I'm not really wanting to go into which dies I found, what copies I found of them, because I know for sure that there are still die varieties inside the normal coins, because I accidentally put them in the wrong place and I didn't have time to go back and find them now. I know there's at least 3 or 4 coins that I'm not accounting for, but here are the 4 coins that I have out right now. Jeff Dunn, Farm Dog, Adam Chambers, and Deanne. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run a full-blown roll auction. And with the boxes, you get one box, it's going to cost you $8 shipping. You get 2 boxes, it's going to cost you $14 shipping. Anything more than the 2 boxes is still $14 shipping. So if you end up getting 15 boxes, $14 shipping. I'm not sure what we're talking about, CMUS. You'll have to get with me later. I don't talk about people's individual orders in the chat. because I have no idea what you're talking about and don't have any time to research it right now. Don't know what order we're talking about. Did you get 3 in this roll? No, let me check. I don't remember what you got in this roll. Let's see. 1. 2. 3. Yes, you did. You got 3 in this roll. Be 3 for Joe McBride. No, sir. You didn't have any coins in this roll. I'll check my email. Oh, you're not confusing me. I just don't. I really just. I've only got so much brain power. My brain doesn't go beyond very simple. And if I'm in the middle of a show, I can't do any research or looking anything up or figuring anything out. I've got a whole bunch of coins to send out. I do know that. I've got a lot of orders that need to go out. I've got a bunch of boxes to mail. And that's all going to happen between now and the end of the week. So, in light of that, in that order, I do have a whole bunch of stuff to continue working on. I've got 2 full double row boxes of reveal coins that need to be taken apart and sent out. I've got 1 full double row box of coins that come from auctions that were mostly sold. So I know I've got at least 150 coins sitting here that need to be sent out. But that's going to happen through the end of the week. You guys have to realize, with the number of people who order from me and the fact that I do this all by myself, it's a daunting process that I'm still working on getting everything in 100% order. But I appreciate it, folks. You guys have a great night. I'll go and check email and respond to the people who've sent me emails so far. And then I'll get on my regular work. I'm done for the night. This is the last show for the night. We've got one coming up tomorrow, Thursday, the 2nd. First roll is going to be 1963D, Federal Reserve Bank of Pittsburgh. I'm going to do that one at noon Eastern Time. It's 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Then we've got a 69S Bank of America roll coming up at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Then there's a 1987D, Original Bank Wrapped roll. We're going to do that at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we'll have a 1958D, Fed Reserve Bank of Seattle. We'll be doing that one at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And we have 4 more rolls to finish before the end of the weekend. Got a 1950D, a 1942D, 1947D, and 1952D. So 42, 50, 52, and 47 all demint. I appreciate it, folks. I'm going to go ahead and take off now and get my work done. I appreciate you guys coming, and I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, don't forget that Jessica is doing another auction this weekend, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or 6 p.m. Central Time, on Sunday, right here on the Copper Coins channel. She'll be doing her own auction. And then if you are still interested in looking at more coins and figuring out more of what you're doing, well, I'll have another auction come up. It's going to be Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I do believe, unless I decide to do my roll sale then. And in that case, it would be 6 p.m. But I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm going to start planning stuff. Watch the Facebook page. Copper Coins on Facebook is a good place to watch, just in case I change my mind or something happens or scheduling comes up, conflicts, anything like that. I always post on Facebook when I'm going to have issues. So, or when I plan something that's new, I usually do graphics and put them up on Facebook first. So I appreciate it, folks. You guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you later.